Hey everybody, Ben here from DMC Film and Cinder Block Studios, and when I give people tips and tutorials, a lot of times I say, well, if you're a beginner, just experiment with your paint. Well, not everybody really understands what that means, so this is everything you need to know about experimenting in acrylics in less than 5 minutes. So on my palette today, I have a white, a black, and a phthalo green. I'll also be using a regular painting knife, and a stiff brush, and a soft brush. Both of these are relatively cheap. You can find these at anywhere that you can buy brushes. And I picked these two to show you kind of what you might have when you just start out. So the first thing we want to look at is general consistency. I'm going to grab a little bit of paint on my painting knife and just kind of play around with it a little bit. Kind of back and forth motions, things like that. Spread it around and see exactly what it seems to do. And once I kind of figured that out, I'm going to grab a brush. So I'll grab the soft brush and kind of tap a little paint onto that and see, exactly what those things do. Kind of a couple of swooshes, left and right, back and forth. Looks like I'm running out, so I guess I'm going to need some more. So I'll grab some of that. I'll use the edge of the brush. I'll come in, turn it this way, maybe that way, and tap it and see what that does. And we'll do the same thing with our stiff brush. Couple strokes, left and right, sideways, tapping. I actually kind of like the way that looks too, with a little bit of, kind of like making little cloud structures here. Right about like that. Now considering we have two colors in the palette, maybe I'll take my knife and mix some of those together and see what that does. So I'll grab that, a little bit of the black, kind of mix that together, and see what kind of color I can get. I can see that it's not really fully mixed, so I might want to do that a little bit more. So I'm going to grab some more black, a little bit of white. I'm going to really mix this up now. That looks a little bit more solid. And actually looks a little bit darker too. I must have grabbed a little bit of that black, a little more than I did before. So I'll try some of that out on my stiff brush. See what I can do to kind of pull that around. Let's add a little bit of water to that, see what we can do. Kind of scrub with this a little bit. Now let's go into our green. Let's say we want to make sort of a minty color. I'm going to take the green, create sort of a bit of a bright green, and I don't like that color as much. Add a little bit of black, tone it down. Kind of squish that down. I like the way this is dragging. I might try and do that again, so go with something like that. Just play around with the paint, see what it does. Learning what your brushes can do, as well as your knives, and mixing a few colors here and there, are really the foundation of what experimenting with your paint is. It's very important to practice on something stiff like cardboard, or even something simple like paper, before you take that new technique to the canvas. And for beginners, one of the most important things I can tell you is, don't be afraid to actually use your paint. Because paint is something you have to buy over and over and over again, some people may be afraid to actually use a lot of paint at once. But keep in mind, when you don't have enough paint on your palette or on your canvas, you might run out of a certain color that you need. And it's better to mix way more than you need and save it for later than it is to mix less than you need and run out. So I hope I've given you guys a better understanding of how to experiment and play around with your brushes and your knives and really understand the paint that you're using. And as always, for more tips, tutorials, and other art videos, this is Ben from DMC Films and Cinder Block Studios. See you guys next time.